how could I possibly spend a long time in jail or prison for something so minuscule, so minor? 4.5 years later now, almost a year in prison, three years and change in a county jail, and because I fell asleep on a Delta airplane.
So are you telling me that those you were in custody for over 2 years before you were even sentenced?
Correct.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So you get out. When did you get out?
I got out in May, and went through. There's a. I don't recommend prison or jail or mental institutions to anybody. I got out in May, and then I was bused to Clearwater, which was like listed as my hometown on my paperwork and stuff. Bused to Clearwater, and they didn't even give me any money, like for like food or anything. I guess like the guy was like, oh, I think I was supposed to give you some cash, but we didn't have it, so stay strong. Goodbye. Here's like, but we can pay for this bus ticket. So they paid for the bus ticket. I went to Clearwater, and then I was at the homeless shelter there in Clearwater for a while. I decided I wanted to just spread my wings, and I went to Mexico, Laredo, which is like the closest border crossing. Went to Mexico, spent like a day there, just backpacking essentially, and then I kind of was like, all right, well, now that I'm a free man, I can cross borders. What do I want to do with my life? Because I don't have probation or parole or anything like that. I'm all free and clear. Except I'm pretty sure I can't vote, not for another 7 years. But I don't care. That's fine.
Can I jump in with a quick question, real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
How did you get from Clearwater to Laredo?
I got there's like resources for homeless people to get like free bus tickets out of town, as you might imagine.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of towns will have free bus tickets for people to one way.
Are you fucking serious?
Well, I mean, think about it. Like you got all these homeless people. Like, hey, I mean,
you're telling me some other cities giving homeless people one-way bus tickets to Clearwater?
Yeah, there's lots of cities do that. Well, I mean, like they give like wherever you want to go. You just need to provide like spurious evidence that's where you actually have somebody who lives there, and then you're good to go. I got another
question.
I got another homeless. It's a good story because I got another homeless guy to pretend that he was like my uncle, and he lived in Laredo, and then I had him call to have them give me a bus ticket out there. Because I didn't have any cash, because I'm just got out of prison.
Wow.
So I got to Laredo. I found a homeless shelter there, and then I was just kind of like, well, what the hell do I want to do with my free life now? I can't go back to my family because I'm not a Scientologist. I always liked Colorado. I spent 7th grade here. And I spent, like that summer chopping down trees when I was 19. I just have fond memories of the place. So I was like, if I'm going to put down roots somewhere, it might as well be like a nice big city, a place where I like the climate and stuff. And that's Colorado. So then I contacted, but that was all after I started talking to a friend of mine who knows Luis Garcia. Is that his name? Is that how you pronounce it? I hear Luis.
It's Luis.
Yeah. Okay. Luis. Yeah. So I know somebody who knows him, and then she got me in touch with him, and I'm in touch with you. And thank you very much for your help, for helping me get from Laredo to Colorado. Got a job now. Got a place to stay. Things are doing. I like my roommates. They're cool. And I got everything's like. This is so much better than prison. Like, you don't even understand. I mean, it's like I still got a long way to go, obviously, but you know, just like like I need like a whole new social community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
So
need to start a new family, etc. So like you know,
yeah,
I got a job, I got a place to stay, I'm doing good.
yeah, cool. Well, we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. There's one part of, I think there's one question that people are gonna have because we didn't specifically address it. You know, we spoke about the point where you lost your job when you started texting Scientologists some anti-Scientology material. At what point in this process do you get to, does your family disconnect from you?
Immediately, my sister, like as soon as I started texting, my dad tried a little bit to like you know convince me to like come to my senses. He's like mid OT7, so you know he's not worried about like anti or OT material leakage that I might have. Because I did like when I texted, I did threaten that I had like some OT materials that I wanted to like show people, but it was a broken link. I was just fucking with them. My mom was, you know, she told me she didn't disconnect, but she was like, you know, she told me in no uncertain terms that she wasn't proud of me. And then I disconnected from her because I was like, you're not proud of me. I'm not proud of you for not being proud of me. Fuck you. Don't tell me you're not proud of me. Like, especially like if you know her whole situation, like her telling me she's not proud of me for not being a Scientologist is like, you're not a Scientologist. Like you just say you're a Scientologist. You don't act like one. You don't like all you do. Like you just say it. You don't live the code or anything. I like me personally. Like now, I'm more ethical than I would say than my mom. You know what I mean?
So this whole thing that you started to experience, somewhat of, I guess you call it, I don't know if this is a Scientology term, a dwindling spiral of the paranoia and all that stuff. This was concurrent to your job's gone, your friend's gone, your family's gone, everything's gone.
My kids, my like everything, like it's not like, and even if like I doubt like I doubt Whitney could have kept me away from my kids, you know, legally, you know what I mean? But like you like if you're a Scientologist and you have kids and you're split up with your baby's mama, you're gonna have a night. You just can't have a relationship with those kids because they're like you're an ex-Scientologist, you're an anti-Scientologist, you're like the Antichrist. Anybody who brings up your name who's a Scientologist is gonna go, whoa, isn't your dad like an SP? You know, like that's who I am to them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let's move on from that.
Yeah.
I know I brought it up. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. So, this friend that you got in touch with, how did you get in touch with them? How did your friend know about the Aftermath Foundation?
Ex-Scientologist. Um, I went to school with her son and her daughter. She has like two kids. She has two daughters, one son. I'm really good friends. Basically, we're like I'm best friends with her son Leo. And like they're very active. They were at one point at least very active in the ex-Scientology community. You know, and they like she knows Lewis personally. Like I think they like isn't Lewis from Orange County? I seem to recall,
Yeah.
wasn't he Orange County Public? He was, right? I think I may have seen
Well, he
him
lived
like, on course and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yes. He was Orange County Public and Flag Public. He was never LA Public.
Yeah, he was kind of like an opinion leader around
No doubt.
Orange County, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so then, you know, I mean, for those watching, and I mean, even for your information, like,
We're wrapping this up, by the way.
yeah, yeah, we're wrapping it up. So, like, the perfect place that the Aftermath Foundation would like to catch people is when you lost the first job.
Yeah, yeah, that would have been the ideal place.
Like right when someone's life is starting to fall apart because of the disconnection, and I'll just use the words fair game. You and I don't think of disconnection or being fired as fair game. We think of fair game as probably being more of the more nefarious, trying to frame people and shit. But the truth is that shit's fair game. That shit is the leverage that Scientology uses. It's that lever of fear to keep people from leaving. That's when we want to catch people, when they're losing everything. We unfortunately had to wait for you to come out of prison to find out you needed this help.
Yeah, yeah. Was Aftermath around then? It wasn't, right?
No, that's kind of like the point. There have always been people out there as like an informal network who have helped people like you over the last couple decades. But we wanted to create something that was always there, that people could always contribute to, that the former Scientology community and gradually the community at large is aware of, so that someone like you, all it takes is one person hearing about it, and then they can contact the Aftermath Foundation, as opposed to someone like you just hoping that coincidentally there's someone out there ready and willing to help. We want everyone to know the organization.
It seems like maybe did the Aftermath Foundation help you as well? Have you got an experience with it?
No.
You're just your altruism is making you feel happy?
Well, I mean, me and Luis and the other founding board members are the ones who created the Aftermath Foundation.
Yeah.
And
thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're doing a good job. Like you have no idea how much I was dreading like getting as far as I have now, like to this point, like how like it was going to be such a bitch to go from homeless to try and find a job, to get a place, et cetera, you know, move all the way to Denver, get the money for that, save up the money. You guys helped me out so much. Like, thank you very much for starting the Aftermath Foundation. I really appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. I'm worried I don't want this to be about me, because it's not about me.
Yeah, it's okay. It's cool, man.
But you know, I just want to say, like, fuck, I've never. This is a little awkward. I didn't mean for this to turn out this way. I'm sorry. And I'll say as much as I can because I don't just want to blubber. Like, shit, this is stupid. Like when you contacted us, homeless in Texas, and all you wanted was for us to help you get to Colorado so you can be homeless in Colorado. We were like, Jesus Christ. That you were so that you weren't even asking for anything. Like we said to you, like, you really think we're just gonna give you money for a bus ticket so you can be homeless somewhere else? And you were like, well, shit, I didn't know how much to expect. And we were like, we're gonna give you a lot more fucking help than that. I'm mentioning that because it was so refreshing that you weren't even asking for the bare minimum we would expect you to. It was just so refreshing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just.
Well, shit. I was gonna walk if I couldn't find any cash. Like I don't care. Like, I've been through like listen, dude. I was literally homeless for like several months before I went to jail, and then like before that, or no, I'm sorry, during that. I mean, like you're in jail, you're in prison, you are homeless. I mean, like that's a harder life than being homeless for sure.
Yeah.
And like, you don't have your own shit. You know, like you got people trying to like, you could get your shit stolen anytime. You got like you get like shitty places to sleep. There's nowhere soft to rest. It's
No.
it's you're homeless in there too. So
Yeah.
like all I was asking for was enough money to get from point A to point B, and then I can do the rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so anyway, from our side, we were like, oh my God, dude. All this guy asked us for is money for a bus ticket. How fucking refreshing is that? And I remember you put in your application, you were like, and then I'm going to get my own apartment. And, and Luis called me and he's like, does he know that coming out of jail or prison, no one's going to rent him a fucking apartment? And I called you and I was like, did you think about this? And you're like, oh, I didn't mean my own apartment. I meant like a room in someone's apartment. And I'm like, oh, okay. Are you sure you'd be comfortable with that? And you're like, I've been sleeping in a concrete box for the last 4 years. I mean, to me, that was a funny conversation we were having.
It's true. Like you get PTSD from being in prison for that long. I'll call it minor because I'm not like one of these crazy veterans. I'll call them disabled veterans, but you get PTSD in there, and like I will say that my life is vastly improved since getting out of prison, and it appears to be getting better on a daily basis. It's just like on a mental footing. I'm still like cagey. You know what I mean? I feel great, and I feel so much gratitude for you guys and for Kim and Tracy. I forget because it's one of those ambiguous co-ed names. I'm so like I really appreciate everything you guys have done, and it's been a huge help. The first night's sleep here on like an actual cushion, like that's thicker than 2.5 inches. I was like, best sleep I've had in years. You know what I mean? Like everything's a lot better, and I'm doing my best to make it even better. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I think it's gonna take some just more routine, more plugging away at the job, which is going great. I'm doing well at my job. I don't expect any trouble from that front. I think my supervisors like me and everything. So,
well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
For those watching, it was one of the foundation's volunteers happened to be in Denver, and happened to be someone who was a history as a foster mother, and was willing to help put up Sam in her apartment while he got his job and earned his own money and saved up enough to get his own place. And she's been amazing, and so I think she's okay with being acknowledged publicly. Yeah,
Kim's been great. She's helped me with getting paperwork. Like she helped me get my learner's permit. She helped give me a shit ton of rides everywhere. It's been a great help. She cooks food. Yeah. She buys all the food and cooks it. She does like the laundry and everything. She's great.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to ask. She's just like, I'm doing the laundry. I'm cooking the food. Shut
up. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time with me to tell your story. And we do like, for those who have contributed and supported the Aftermath Foundation, to be able to hear stories from the people who have been able to get help. And not everybody's willing to tell their story for various reasons or another, which are perfectly understandable. So thank you for being.
I didn't want to. I decided to do it because I just wanted to, as a way of saying thank you. Thank you so much for all your help. I'll whatever you guys need, I'll help you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe someday I can pay it forward.
That'd be great. That'd be great. All right, everybody. That's all we're gonna do. Thank you for watching all of this, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, oh, Nancy, Mama, love. and you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe